So as you noticed, I didn't suggest any particular subject tonight. I thought we could review what we've been learning from Ramana Mahershi's new book on Vishara, Self-Enquiry. So the last month or so, I've been discussing various aspects of the teachings that come out of this book, which right now is being printed in Chennai in India. We'll pick them up on Monday next week when we arrive. And so those of you coming to the retreat, if you'd like to have an English copy, we can give you an English copy when you arrive. We're going to need some help to translate it into German. So if anybody has energy to help with the translation or the proofreading, you can contact Indira, who's in this red sweater over on the right-hand side of the screen. She'll be happy to hear from you. Okay. So would anybody like to share what they experienced in the meditation? Brett, Lakshmi, okay. Brett first, and then Lakshmi, then Madhu.
Hello, John.
Okay. You've already got to India, I see.
Yeah, it's a picture of Arunachal.
I don't hear you, Brett. No sound. Is it me or?
Can you hear me? No?
It's coming, it's coming.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So you've already arrived in India, I see, from the photo behind you.
Yes, it's just a beautiful picture I found on Facebook day before yesterday. I think it's Arunachal just after the monsoon, which I kind of put on my Facebook page.
This is a recent picture, is it?
Yeah, quite a recent one.
Right.
I kind of fell in love with it, so it's on my Facebook page, and that's where it's going to stay for some time, I think. And I just posted that, I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks, so I'm really looking forward to that, which is very exciting. But it's also bringing in a lot of thoughts, because as we were meditating there, I was having thoughts about the trip. So it's kind of I'm excited, and I'm just really looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person finally, which I've been wanting to do for a while, and obviously all the other folks who are going to come with us. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, it was just interesting that to start off with, there was silence, there was quiet, it was very peaceful, and then it was just about the trip. I think it just popped in, but then it popped out. It kind of dissolved, which was really strange experience, and then it went quiet again. So I guess there's something in there that is kind of exciting me, the anticipation and looking forward to it. But there's also, I've already meditated today, which was a really good meditation for 40 minutes, which I was really pleased with. And that was very quiet. But yeah, it's just kind of like those thoughts are just popping in, and it's just mixing with that.
So it looks like the mountain's already getting to you, you see?
Yeah, I think it probably is. It's there's something there. There's an energy there, and it's pulling me there like I'm a fish on a hook. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to come. I cannot wait to get on that plane. I cannot wait to fly. I cannot wait to get in the taxi and drive and be with you.
I hope then you're going to say you can't wait to not talk so much.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I wanted to comment on this photograph, if you could give me a moment, because I've never seen such a green picture actually of the mountain, and the sky is completely dark, which is very rare in that place. And then all this tree cover, or bushes and trees in the foreground, I've never seen such a picture. So I think they're getting more and more rain every year, and I think recently they had some big almost floods there.
Yeah, isn't there a lake there that floods out every so often with the monsoon? There's a lake or something. I read a story somewhere that one of the kids...
Okay, darling, you asked me something I can answer, I've been going there for 25 years, So yes, there's an overflow lake. It's not the main lake. There's another lake which is permanent, but when it gets too full, there's an overlap, and so there's a lake just behind where we're staying, and you can walk there in about 5 minutes, and probably swim there as well.
Wow, cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
great.
yeah. And we hope, of course, it gets a bit warmer because it looks pretty unusual for this time of the year. Yeah. But anyway, it's a very good picture, Aaron, actually. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
good. Okay. So Lakshmi would be next, I guess.
Yes. I'm very mindy in the last time, and so was my meditation tonight. Not so silent and calm as in the last times.
Right.
Because when I saw you, I just thought about my project with a pullover.
Yes, don't
and
mention it. You've got
and
only two,
after
3 more days, you know. I'm leaving on Sunday, so you've got to move
I
fast.
know, yeah. And afterwards, I had a talk to Indira and Om yesterday about my
future prospects.
Hmm?
Your future prospects.
Yes, so to say.
Because, you know, I saw when you went to see your daughter about a
Yeah.
month ago, I think. When you came back, I had the feeling that you were quite disturbed, actually. And I understand now you're considering leaving and going what you call home.
Yeah.
Is that right?
There's a big longing, so to say. My mind is very much longing to restore my home and so on. And but the talk to
That's what I
Indira.
try to understand, Lakshmi,
Mhm.
that the real
Yeah.
home is what I'm constantly talking about. You know, it's your own essence. It's the self. That's your home.
Yes.
Bricks and mortar somewhere in Germany is not your home.
Mm.
It's your mind home, maybe.
Yeah, I know, but it's been very strong. But after the talk to Indira and Om, it was very extremely more calm and beruhigt. The waves in my mind were, how can I say, calm down, so to say. Yeah.
Right.
And that I wanted to share. It's so to say a crisis in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I think you'll find when you
Yeah.
get to India that you will come out of your mind again, at
Yeah.
least for the time of the retreat.
Yeah.
Good.
So I hope.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we haven't seen Madhu for some time. Would you like to give us an update on your Christmas excitement?
Yeah, I was with my family, and over New Year's Eve, I was in Cologne with my sister and my cousin. So
Okay.
just family stuff.
Did your mother buy you a nice book for Christmas?
Yeah, but just like other like not spiritual books, like some stories.
Okay. And how are you doing?
Good. During the meditation, I don't know what to say about it, like some thoughts and some body sensations. And apart from that, I don't know what to say.
Okay, good. Anyway, it's nice that you're doing well. Having survived Christmas, you can probably survive whatever else you have to survive. Good, good. Okay. So we have 2 volunteers in the house at the moment, and I haven't had a moment even to meet you. Lokana, would you like to share something? I'm sorry I haven't met you yet, but I will meet you in the next day or two. You've come at a rather busy moment.
Yeah. Hi. Um, well, I'm doing actually very well. I feel very relaxed. I love to do things together with people also. So this is also really great. And what is really very relaxing here is that I do not have to think about what I have to do, because at home I have so many projects running, and then puts me under so much pressure when I'm busy with one thing. I'm already busy in my mind with the next. So here, this is so wow. I just do one thing and then
Right,
the next.
right, right. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good thing to notice because, of course, we're trying to live from moment to moment. Yeah, it's not always possible. I mean, like right now with this trip happening in a few days' time, most people are busy, focused on that trip next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted also somehow to share something because it has a little bit to do also similar with Lakshmi. I was like also in a similar situation that the house where I'm living in, I rent, but it's
Right.
actually already for quite a while that I feel it's my space, my space.
Yeah.
It's getting sold, and so this put me really in a situation that I really felt my immense grip on the whole thing. So
Right.
that was really the good thing, and like.
And does your new owner allow you to carry on? Are you protected?
Well, I am, yeah, I think, but we see how it evolves. I think I can stay there.
Mm.
I can keep on living there, but it's also really good to just let go. You know, there is nothing from me. And this was like really like the shock in the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
God, does not belong to me at all. I'm just a caretaker. And yeah, so this I was a little bit in that space when I came here. So that was good. I could also really relax and let go of the whole thing and see what happens. You
Right, right.
actually
Well,
don't
you
know.
may be interested to know that we're in the same situation with our house here where you are now, because we've rented this house for 20 years now. And
Okay.
we started with a very nice owner who allowed us to renovate the whole house according to our wishes, more or less. But then 4 years ago, it got sold to a new owner, and this new owner's only waiting to get us out of the house.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've had a court case for the last 2 years, very strong, but it looks as if we've won this court case so that we can actually basically stay here as a protected, as a protected private contract. But he'll, of course, he'll try some other reason to get us out, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's important that home is inside us. It is not the bricks and mortar where we're sitting inside. Yeah. So do I understand you've met Osho some years ago, or is that not right?
No, I met an Osho sannyasin when
Ah,
I did a lot of Osho meditations when I was younger also, and still I'm still loving actually the active meditations also. Yeah, but I
right.
was living in a commune, also an Osho commune actually for quite a while.
Ah, okay. Yeah. In Germany here or in Holland?
Germany.
Germany. Yeah. Are you Dutch or are you in German?
I'm Flemish. I'm from Belgium.
Ah, okay. Right. Yeah, good. Okay. So I see. So you didn't actually meet Osho. You haven't been to India to his ashram.
No.
Ah, okay. Okay. Good. Because I spent many years there actually in my past. Yeah. Okay. Well, but let's have a talk in the next day or two. I promise you we'll meet and have a chat.
Yeah,
Anyway, welcome here. Oh,
thank you.
okay. And then I'm gonna invite. Michelle, would you like to share? You're also here at the moment as a volunteer. I don't hear you. Wait 1 minute. We'll check this. I don't
Oh
hear
yeah,
you. Oh, now I hear you. No, I don't.
right now
Yes, now I hear you.
is it okay?
Yep.
Ah,
Fine.
okay.
All right.
Oh,
I understand
good.
we met in India. Was it last year?
Yeah, January last year
Right. Right.
in Tiruvannamalai. I was at your
Right.
satsang.
You spent some time there, did you?
Yeah, I was 1 month in Tiruvannamalai. Yeah,
Ah, okay. Good. Good. And how was
yeah.
that for you?
Ah, it was great. I was teaching football at school to kids.
Ah, right. Right. What,
Oh, so good.
one of the local schools actually employed you as a teacher, or you?
Yes, yes, but yeah, I just like met a girl who was working in this organization and come to
Yeah.
visit and stayed. Yeah,
Okay.
so it
Wow.
was a very good time.
Okay. Was it an international school?
Um, they are school for local kids, but they supported by some organization from Switzerland. So they are
Okay.
like more more wealthy school. Yeah.
But was there any Western people in the school, kids in the school?
No, only local kids.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to take I've got two daughters who are 8 years old. I'm taking them with me to the retreat. And we were talking the other day, maybe we try to put them in a school each morning. But
Yeah, I would recommend this school. It's really good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe you could give the contact details to Indira, because
for sure.
it might, maybe through your, the fact we've met you and you tell us about, because we had tried one other school last year when we were there, and they weren't so keen on the idea of having kids for 3 weeks just in the mornings. I can understand that. I can understand, but
Yeah, I think they shouldn't make a problem out of that.
yeah,
Yeah, so you should try. Yeah.
yeah, we should try. Maybe it's cute for the local kids to have two Western girls.
Oh yeah, they will love it.
Very lively girls, I would have to say. Have you met my
Yeah,
girls?
yeah, I can
Maybe
see it.
running
Yeah, I think
around?
the Indian kids will love it.
Yeah.
You have yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also think it'd be good for my girls, to spend some time with Indian kids.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, they've done a lot of traveling, but they've never mixed really with the local people. They go to Spain, they go to Portugal, Turkey, Ukraine, where else do they go? Denmark, France. I mean, they're big travelers already, but they never really engage with the local people because we're just tourists kind of passing through. So it would be actually very interesting for them to be in a school where they actually meet the kids and play with the kids and so on. I think this
Yeah,
would be
it's a
great.
great idea. Yeah, I think can be very good.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Mm.
And are you German? I'm not sure.
No, I'm Polish.
I don't remember meeting you in India, but I probably did. Did we have a talk, or were you just in the
No,
meeting?
I just went to your satsang.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we didn't speak like person to person. I'm from Poland.
Poland, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And you live in Poland, or you're living in Germany?
I live in Poland.
Ah, okay. Okay. But you're not in, right. You come from Poland for a few days. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you doing in Poland?
I quit my job, so I don't do it much. Just like looking for opportunities.
Ah, okay. All right. Have you considered a spiritual community?
Oh yeah, it would be lovely.
You can just stay. Now you're here, you can just stay.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Do you have some special talents? Are you a musician or handyman, or maybe you're a computer whiz or something like this?
Yeah, like handyman stuff I can do some simple things, not like very complicated.
Right.
Yeah, and I was learning to be a beekeeper.
Beekeeper. Oh, wow.
Yeah, last month. Yeah.
We had 4 hives during the summer, but now 2 of them have been attacked by
I've
the
heard.
wasps, so we have only 2 left, I think.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, there you are. You can come and help us with the honey business. So, well, and handyman, you said, oh, we can use all these qualities, you know.
Oh, great.
Anyway, see what happens. Yeah. And
Yeah,
we've
for
also
sure.
got a very nice house in Spain, so you can have holidays in Spain when the sun shines again.
Wow. Sounds great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I get the feeling you've done quite a lot of meditation. Is that right?
Boo. Yeah, I have like, try and meditate for many years, but I'm not so good, like not so persistent in the practice. Many times
Right.
lose it. Yeah.
Right.
Like a
Right.
daily routine. Yes.
And how do you find it here? We do 3 different moments of meditation, yeah, through the day.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very nice energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
say very good. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, we find it helps the whole kind of energy of the community when we meet together, you know, in the morning and lunchtime and evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it works well.
Yeah. It's very nice, I think, to eat together in silence. It's an unusual kind of meditation, but it's a very nice thing to eat together in silence and not chit chat and, you know, gossip at the meal times, which we normally do it, but
Yeah.
oh, okay. And would you share something from the meditation we've just done?
I was mostly with the physical feelings from my body.
Yeah.
At first, I was very tense at my jaw, and later this goes a bit to the face energy. And I feel like very heavy on my belly. I don't know, maybe eat too much on the dinner, but I feel like very like this heaviness in me.
Okay.
So that was me.
It wasn't so quiet then. Was it
Quiet?
still quiet?
No.
It wasn't so quiet. It was quiet with a bit of body sensations.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Well, it's good to meet you. And like I was saying, I will meet tomorrow, the next day. I'm a bit hectic.
Oh, for sure.
at the
Would be
moment.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. You're here until the end of the week, are you?
Yes.
Right. Because I'm flying to India on Sunday, so I only have a few days. So I'm in a lot of packings and organizing and stuff at the moment. That's why I didn't meet you yet.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of going on in that.
Yeah, we're all rushing around. Yeah. It's not the best moment. You won't get the best impression of us this week, I don't think. And also, we've got 2 or 3 people quite sick. We're hoping they come back together again in time to fly next week.
Yeah, it's a good moment as any else, you know.
Yeah, sure.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. Somebody else like to share something? Tonight is mostly you guys talking, actually, because I deliberately didn't put any subject tonight because I thought, as it's going to be the last one until I come back in the end of March, it's quite a long break coming up. And this new material from Ramana Maharshi is very potent. It's very amazing. I was just talking to Kiran just now, who's down in Denya, and he's a bit sick, and he was telling me he's just about finished reading the whole book, and he's totally inspired by this book. So this is very good feedback, because in the case of Om and my own case, we're so close to this text. We've been kind of reading it nonstop for the last 2 or 3 months, and you know, all the little spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes and so on. So actually it's difficult to really read it in a relaxed way where you can really feel out the quality of the whole book. So it's very good that we got this feedback from Kiran, because our sense is it's going to be a very successful book, really, because as you all know, I think for Ramana Maharshi and for the classical Indian spirituality, self-inquiry, which is to really investigate this I that we're always saying, I, to really investigate this I and understand the nature of this I. So this is one of the central elements of any spiritual philosophy, you can say. And in the case of Ramana Maharshi, it always seemed to me that this was his main teaching. But interestingly, we've already collected the material for another book, which we're going to edit while we travel through India for 2 months. And this material is about surrender. And it turns out that he was also very strongly advising people that if you really have a huge longing to live in the self, just surrender, just give up all your own personal ideas, all your own stuff, all your beliefs, and so on, and just surrender, not to Ramana Maharshi, of course, but the surrender is to the self, to the existence itself. Yeah. So this is not so easy to do. It's very simple in a way to surrender, but of course it's not easy to give up everything that you believe yourself to be. We were just hearing that Lakshmi thinks her home is some bricks and a garden somewhere in Germany, you see. And this is a sort of common opinion about home, that the real home is inside us. So this Vishara, or who am I, or self-inquiry, this is a way of investigating about this home. What is really the home? Maybe you try a bit more of this, Lakshmi. Okay. Would somebody else like to share? Right. So Shanti and then Nataraj. And then, Kali, I can hardly keep up with you all tonight. And tomorrow, Shanti, we've got, she's gone already. Are you there, Shanti?
Santi, you need to press the button on the screen to put your microphone and your camera on.
You disappeared again. Maybe I talked to somebody else and you sorted out a bit. Okay, Nataraj.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm actually nervous to share right now.
You're what?
I'm nervous to share right now.
Okay.
And I mean, concerning home, I feel quite a lot at home lately. And when I'm alone, there's more peace. And I see that when I'm in contact with people, then triggers come up sometimes. I notice, especially like when I get feedback the past days, that there are like two ways of reacting in me. There's this part in me that stays silent and open and just wants to do nothing basically, or like doesn't want to, but does nothing. And there's also a part in me that like thoughts come up.
Right. Well, it's very well observed, yeah? I mean, we already, I think, talked last week about how you've changed a lot in the last months. You know, there seems to be a big shift inside you. You become much more open. Actually, you seem to be more with yourself, you know, less with your old kind of issues or something. I mean, there's something is really opening up very nicely with you, I think. So what you've just been telling us is very well observed about what's going on, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean these thoughts, I can see that they are defending this I, that that doesn't exist, that I kind of created.
Right. Yeah, but if you can see that, you see that's a fantastic step, because once you see that the I is not real, then it makes it much easier not to take on board whatever this I, you know, seems to be telling you. Yeah? So that's great, actually. Very nice. I'm just looking behind you. You're in your studio. Yeah. What is that painting with a big yellow sun or something? I haven't seen that before, I don't think. Pretty nice painting.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. I mean, we
Picture
did have a
the
painting
art
there.
gallery, I think. Yeah, it's an art gallery
Yeah,
painting.
yeah, we borrowed it from the art studio.
You bought it. You brought it.
Borrowed.
You
No,
borrowed.
didn't.
Aha, borrowed. Okay. Well, tell Rada you borrowed it because it may not get back there. Anyway, it's okay, but it's a very nice painting. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I mean, you're coming with us to India, yeah? So it's, I think, a very good moment for you to come to India because now you've shifted some of the old kind of things which were a bit blocking you, and it feels like that's not really very relevant anymore. And now you're going to find your experience in India will be different. Is this the second time to India?
Yes,
With us?
second time.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't come last year though, did you?
No, I came in the beginning
No.
before I joined.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think this time will be a completely different quality for you. Actually. Yeah. Good. Okay. Good. Ah, Joanna's appeared. Hello, Joanna. You're in Australia? Wow. Can we have a little chat? Nice to see you. Where are you in Australia? I lived in Australia for 6 years.
Oh,
And I even had an Australian wife for 12 years.
Wow. I'm in Sydney. I just moved here 4 months ago
Okay.
from America.
From America. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I used to live in Sydney. Most of my time was in Sydney. And I lived in an apartment building which looked straight onto the sea. It was a very beautiful location. Yeah.
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 I'm in
Good.
apartment now too.
Where are you in Sydney?
I'm in Castle Hill in the
Also-
northwest.
Okay.
But I will relocate it. I don't know where I'm going.
Right. Well, you've got the doors open behind you, but it must be quite early in the morning there.
No, it's virtual. Virtual background.
that?
It's not real. It's
Oh,
not
it's
real.
not real, just a photo. Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I thought, oh, she got up early and the windows are open, must be already warm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Nice. Okay. And how did you find us? Because we don't get many people from Australia.
I read lots of books from Papaji, and one of the book is the Grace, the one you
Amazing
wrote it.
Grace.
Yes,
Amazing Grace.
Amazing
Yeah.
Grace. So I
Right.
just searching online with their name. I said, oh, there is an online meeting. I want to join this one.
Okay. Yeah, that was our first book about 15 years ago. And it's quite an interesting book because I stayed in his satsang for nearly 5 years. And during that time, many people had a glimpse, had a kind of big spiritual opening, a big energetic opening. He had a tremendous energy, a tremendous power, So if people were a bit empty, they could easily have a big opening. And then Papaji used to enjoy inviting them the next morning and telling to them, okay, so now talk from the self, Tell us what it's like inside. And I noticed almost nobody could really say very much. They were very happy, they were very quiet, they were very calm, but they didn't really want even to talk. So I got the idea sitting there, well, maybe if I meet them separately in the park or outside somewhere and with a camera and kind of interview them, then gradually, I will start with, what is their life, what kind of job they have. And then gradually, I bring the questions to what happened, what do they feel inside. So you'll find that book is basically the interviews I did at the time I lived in Lucknow. Yeah.
It's a very interesting book.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a lot about the relationship with the teacher, actually, or the master.
Right.
And are you feel connected to Ramana Maharshi?
Yes, and also
Yeah.
Papaji. Yeah,
Right. Because you know Ramana Maharshi was Papaji's teacher.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've recently been editing some manuscript that was written in 1936. And it was written by a young man who was staying in Ramana's ashram in 1936. He stayed for 6 months, and he got in the habit of writing every day a diary about what had been spoken and what had happened in the ashram. And this material has never been published from 1936, now about 80 years later. And this material, more than 1,000 pages, has been put up on the internet, and you can download it. It's called Aham Sparana, but it's very difficult to read because it's never been edited, it's never been, in a way, organized as a book. So we already now published one book from that material, and right now, in the next few days, we've got another book being printed in India, and it's about, as I said before, Vishara, which is Self-Enquiry. So those 2 books, I think, are definitely going to touch you a lot. So when you're ready to start reading books again after you settle in Australia, you might look up those 2 books. Yeah.
Where I can find it on your website?
They're both on Amazon, but we have our own website, which is Open Sky Press. Open Sky Press, and you can buy it, of course, from our website. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Good.
thank you.
What are you planning to do in Australia?
Actually, we're immigrant here, but I'm still tasting. I'm not sure if here is good for me or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you say we, so you've got a husband and some
I
children,
know,
maybe?
just me and my child, just
Okay.
2 of us. Yeah,
Okay. All right. And where did you live in America?
in Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, okay. Were you connected to what's his name now? There's a very nice teacher in Seattle, I think.
You mean Gangaji?
No, she's not in Seattle. The Power of Now man, what's he called? Power of Now.
I don't know.
You don't know this book?
Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah, Eckhart Tolle. Isn't he living in Seattle?
Oh, I don't know.
Have you heard of Eckhart Tolle? He wrote a
No.
book. He wrote a book called Power of Now I think about 20 years ago.
He's in Seattle? I don't know. He's in Seattle.
Or Vancouver, I'm not sure. Maybe it's Vancouver, not Seattle, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not sure quite where he lives now, but I thought it was, I don't know. Anyway. Good, okay. Anyway, it's nice you're on the meeting tonight. Unfortunately, from this weekend, I'm going to India for nearly 3 months, so there will be a break in these meetings. Normally, I give these meetings every week.
Oh, but I'm lucky because that day when I search your name, then I say, oh, tomorrow is a meeting. So I want to join. Yeah. It's better than after 3 months.
Right. Okay, very nice to meet you, and perhaps we'll meet again in 3 months. Yeah. And if you like to investigate, there are many nice pages of material about Papaji on my website. So I'm in the process of writing a book about Papaji, and I interviewed quite a lot of the close disciples of Papaji, and some of that material is on my website. We have a special page about Papaji, and also a special page about Ramana Maharshi. And I think if you look on the page about Papaji, you'll find lots of nice interviews from some of the close disciples from Papaji who are now teaching. As you know, there's quite a lot of people traveling and teaching.
I will read it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, nice, good. Okay, so so I guess what I would probably like to dialogue about now is whatever you like to dialogue, of course. But I thought maybe in particular we can focus on what we've been talking about in the last month or two, which is basically this new book, Vichara, Self-Inquiry. And I would be interested to dialogue about this. Personally, being very close to this material in the last time, I was in a way a bit surprised that in his dialogues, mostly with Western seekers who came to his ashram in 1936, that they were asking about his teachings, and he was going into a lot of detail actually about Vichara, about how to actually go into Vichara in a much deeper way than is generally, I would say, known. I remember when I first came to the Ramana ashram in 1993, so what's that, about 32 years ago, I was by chance staying in a room in the ashram which was next to David Godman. Maybe you've heard of David Godman. He's written some very good books about Ramana and also about Papaji. And he's lived in that town for many, many years, most of his life actually. He's been living there. And anyway, so I got to know him, and I remember in one of the conversations he was telling me about self-inquiry, and he was saying, well, actually, although this is the main teachings of Ramana, he hardly ever meets anybody who's doing self-inquiry. So maybe this book that we're publishing right now is going to make a difference, because this is about 250 pages where Ramana is discussing his teachings in the context of who am I, about the I, with a great deal of detail. And of course, the people that were coming there to talk to him, they brought very different questions in a way. And so this book is a delight, because I would say most of the people asking and talking to him were in fact Western people who'd come to Chennai or to see Aurobindo in Pondicherry. And then they also came to Ramana. He wasn't well known in those days, really. Only one book had made him famous, and that was a book, In Search of Secret India. And that book brought many Western people to come to his ashram then. So we were very lucky, because this young man is a superb writer. And I think most of you who read bits of it find it very, how can I say, it's very juicy actually. And one of the things that is particularly interesting for me is that when you read what Ramana was telling to the people, he was not giving any kind of intellectual philosophy. He was very much a practical, down-to-earth, everyday kind of guy. Maybe now we've made him into a kind of saint, and therefore we project onto him something that actually wasn't really true about him. Anyway, would somebody like to talk about this or have other questions maybe? Okay, Arjuna.
So I I had the blessing of being very sick for the last few days. So
Right.
the first 2 days I couldn't really move. So I could already read the whole book.
Oh, you also read the whole book, did you?
Yeah, I was so sick I needed sleep, but I didn't stop until 2:30 in the night until I
All
just fell
right.
asleep. And the next day I could finish it. Oh, yeah,
Right.
and it's so I
Do you
wrote
have
it.
what do you have some? Can you tell us what your impressions are? Because as I say, Om and I are too close to it really to have an impression anymore.
I mean, it's so great because it goes to the same question from from 100 different angles, because the people 100 different people were 100 different descriptions of what is happening during the self-inquiry. So it's so many nuances, and it just gives the whole picture because it's so from so many angles. Yeah, it helped me
Right,
so much. I
right,
mean, I could only also see through the book that for me the self-inquiry has changed over the last 8 months already a lot, like
right,
how it's happening within me,
right,
and
right.
it gave me also some self confidence in doing it because I was often very conscious about it, self-conscious about it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Was
yeah,
there
so
anything in particular that touched you? Was there any kind of, oh, wow, anything like that happen?
many
Because,
times.
when I talk to people about the first book we did, Aham Sparana, when I talk to people about that book, several people told me that when they read a few pages, they had to stop because their body would start to shake. So they had kind of energy things happening.
I mean, what I had, it's there was something. It was pretty uncomfortable actually. It felt like some energy was leaving my head, and it became so strong that I could just lie down for half an hour, and it was like a train of thought. Like it was so many thoughts that were just rushing out of my head. It was almost painful, yeah.
Right, right,
Painful in a way.
yeah,
But also enjoyable in another way because I could just be with it.
right, right,
Yeah.
right,
I don't know what there's no particular sentence or phrase that I
yeah, yeah,
back
right.
to this.
And we've published, I think, about 35 pages about the man who wrote the diary, Gathapati. Yeah. In the first book we did, there was a lot of controversy about whether this is really authentically Ramana's teachings. Yeah. And
Mm.
nobody knew about this man who'd written the diary. He was some sort of unknown guy. But in the year or so since we published the first book, we ourselves have done a kind of detective work, you could say, and we've come to understand much better about this young man who wrote the manuscript. He clearly was a very well-educated guy. He definitely existed, and we even have a photograph which we think contains him. And at the end of his well, he left at the end of 1936, and he went and got married, and then he worked as a lawyer, and then later it seems he came back to India and was a barrister, which is kind of like a higher level of lawyer, I think. So anyway, he came back to see Bhagwan in 1948, if you remember in the text. So that would have been
But actually,
that would have been about 12 years after he left Bhagwan to get married and start working. So he probably came back, he would have been guessing about 40 years old maybe when he came back. And he had this mysterious meeting with Bhagwan. I think you can remember, where Bhagwan had closed the hall and told the guards, don't let anybody come in. And then he had this personal meeting with Gathapati. And in the process of this meeting, there was this very strong moment when Gathapati kind of had become unconscious, but then woke up out of it long enough to see that Bhagwan was cleaning the vomit off his clothes. He was a bit shocked, of course, because normally Bhagwan is very separate and sitting on his couch, and he's certainly not usually doing that. So there was some very strong energetic happening between Bhagwan and this young man. And he passed out again, and he woke up at the station sitting in the train with a group of people from the ashram, put him in the train. And it seems to me that in that meeting, that in the afternoon, where Bhagwan had set the whole thing up that he wouldn't be disturbed by anybody else, it seems to me that something strong happened energetically. which could have been a moment of self-realization, I think. Do you have any, did you agree with that, or did you feel that could be possible?
I mean, I don't feel in the position to say that if someone has become self-realized. You sent us this snippet already for a Zoom call a few, like a month ago, because actually I skipped I went with the interview part in the book, so page 60 to 270. So I did a biography of Rajapati actually.
Oh, you didn't read those pages?
I didn't read the first part. I started with Ramana, the questions, Ramana and
Sure,
disciples,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Anyway, I think
But this part,
you'll find these pages about Gathapati very interesting, actually, because he had a lot of very insightful observations about what's going on around Bhagwan and so on.
okay, I'll also read it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, good that you're getting better.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You're flying next week to India, yeah?
Yes.
We'll have to get a special plane for all the invalids. Okay. Put you in the luggage hole, maybe.
No, please no.
Mhm. Okay, somebody else like to? Okay, good. Kailash is also coming to India.
Do you hear me there?
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm not seeing you. Yeah, now I see you. Good. Yeah. Right. So are you now relaxed about coming to India? You went through quite a strong process, I think.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I'm going to India.
Yeah.
It was not clear for me 2 months ago or a month ago, but
Right.
I just leave it to destiny and it's happening. So I'm very happy for that.
Right. Well, my girls are coming too, so maybe next year you bring one of your kids.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share something about self-inquiry, and also had a question, but about self-inquiry, I think was the best discovery for me last year. It was like a breakthrough, because then I realized you can do self-inquiry not only when you're meditating, but also basically any time during the day.
Right. And
Even if you're awake.
even when you're working,
Yeah. And something happened to me like last week. I think it was the last day of the year, and I went to the lake, and there's a sauna, and there's a lake. And the lake, it was like around 7 degrees or 6. And then you jump from the sauna to the lake. But somehow at some point I said, so to whom is this thing happening? This cold water. And somehow you can say more. And that was fascinating.
You could stay longer in the water by doing self-inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if I was totally frozen or I was not responding, my senses were blocked. But but it was interesting to do that exercise while doing this cold bath, let's say.
Right. But I must admit, this is the first time anybody shared this particular aspect of self-inquiry.
And I also take cold showers in the morning.
Really? Wow.
And it's at some point it's unbearable. But then I started to do that, self-inquiry.
Yeah.
To whom is this, cold shower affecting somehow?
Right. Okay.
And I just found it interesting because it puts you in that particular moment. So that was my sharing, and I just had a question. And perhaps there is not an easy answer to this, but I was wondering, how can we improve our capacity to trust in life?
To trust in life.
Yeah.
I think it's not that you wake up one morning and say, okay, now I trust life. You know, it's lots of little things maybe that are happening to you. For example, the way you've just been talking about last year, you got this gift of self-inquiry. You became involved with me. You've been to some retreats. You became involved with the community, and at the same time, you know, at the same time that was happening, you were leaving your wife, and you know that was all a bit difficult and so on. But you're sitting here now, I see one of your kids behind you. Is that one of your boys?
Yes.
Can I say hello?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Adrian, you want to say hello? You want to come? I know he's doing something.
I can only see the back of his head, but
yeah, he's looking for something there.
Yeah. I don't know, but you know, there's a sense that since when I met you, I mean, your journey is an interesting journey, because you came to our guest house by chance, and you met there, I think, Carly or some other people who you found very nice and interesting, and you like to know more about what they're doing. And then you somehow got involved with us and came to a retreat and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of went on and on. Now you're coming to India. I mean, that kind of situation, that kind of flow, if you like, makes it much easier to trust, of course, because in the beginning of all that, you didn't really know what is this all about. They seem kind of nice people, but also a bit strange or something, and blah. And then gradually, you got to know us, and you see the good effects on you. And this is a kind of trust developing inside you, yeah? So it's not really whether you trust us, it's really whether you trust the whole existence or not. And we are one symptom of existence in a way that's come into your life in the last year. But so many things, like obviously you're getting along fine with your son because he came in very relaxed in the middle of your thing, and you didn't scream at him or anything. So, I mean, you have a nice connection, obviously, with your boys, and so on and so on. So all these things, little by little, they create a kind of deep trust in this thing we call life, you know, because actually this whole thing we call life is incredibly wonderful and an enormous gift to us. And if we're not living in a sort of arrogant way out of our conditionings, but are actually feeling, how can I say, feeling all the sort of beauties of life that we meet as we go along every day, then gradually, this brings trust, of course, because there's nothing really to be afraid. I mean, you know, one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing. It all seems to be going very good. When you're open, and when I would say intelligence to understand, yeah, it's not about being educated in a certain way, but to have a certain intelligence where you can be open to receive what is coming to you, without too many judgments about it, then trust starts. You know, there's I would say within you, I can feel much more trust now than when I first met you about a year ago. Inevitably, you know.
Yeah, I think it's true, and I think it's, yeah, I think you're right. It's like it starts flourishing somehow.
Yeah, because somehow along the way of this year, from our point of view, you said many yeses, you know, like there was a difficult week in Spain where we asked you to come and translate, and that was not an easy thing to arrange with your wife, but you arranged it and came, and it, you know, this yes, you know. So all these kind of yes and trust kind of go together, I would say. And if you're a kind of no person, no doesn't go with trust. It goes with sort of lack of trust, I would say. And the beauty of this trusting existence is that actually our lives become much easier when we're trusting. everything becomes much easier because, you know, we don't have to be afraid or anything.
Yeah.
So I think you're already on the way of trust. So that's very nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy you're coming to India because I think, you know, I know this retreat is always wonderful, and you know, you're just completely ripe for what you'll experience now in India, I think. If you make it from the airport to the ashram, you'll be fine. I mean, it's not that terrible, but it's really sitting in that taxi, if you've never been to India, is quite an eye-opener, you know, because India is not like most countries. It's every street in India, every road in India is packed with people and bullock carts and, I don't know, Ferraris, and I mean, everything all mixed up in a big chaos, you know, and somehow the taxi drives through all this without having any accidents. In fact, in India, you very rarely see people having car accidents, and I always wonder how that's possible because, for example, in Pondicherry, it's a town which was set out, I guess, by the Portuguese with a grid, you know, it has a right-angled grid like New York or something, yeah? And they have traffic lights on the intersections. And these traffic lights don't work anymore. And I asked people, you know, how do you manage? Why don't the traffic lights work? Oh, no, it just slows down the flow, you know, so you don't need the traffic lights. And somehow, you know, the traffic always kind of goes through each other all the time without any accidents, you know. It's quite a phenomenon to watch this. And in this taxi ride from the airport, you'll have lots of chances to watch this, you know, because the roads are so packed and there's so many people walking and sitting on bullock carts or whatever, you know, the whole kind of chaos of it all is so alive, you know, it's so juicy somehow. Mm-hmm. And as I say, somehow it all works, you know. And this work, the way it works somehow is a lot to do with trust, of course, because the Indian people are very aware of the moment somehow. And so the only way it can work on these crossovers is that the people driving from different directions, they're super aware, you know, about how much space, what kind of speed. And as I say, they don't have traffic lights because it slows down the flow.
Yeah, no, I think I like the metaphor, and I think that it's what I would like to bring into my life. It's flow, that state of flow.
Right.
Yeah. I think.
Well, I think everybody, in a way, everybody has it in their life, but maybe we're not aware that we have it really. And as we get more aware and more trusting, it just becomes clearer and clearer that there is a kind of destiny going, and we can relax into that destiny, and we can feel secure in that destiny, and therefore we come into a greater trust. And I think this man who wrote this, the manuscript from which we've created the book, he had this amazing experience that he'd been very ill at home, and then his parents had got some medicine from the temple in Tiruvannamalai at Arunachala. And while he was very ill, he had a kind of dream, a very powerful dream about a mountain. And on this mountain, there was a man walking around, not wearing very many clothes. And somehow this was a very strong kind of energetic dream for him. Maybe it wasn't really a dream. And then his parents wanted to go to the temple and thank them for the medicine after he had he'd recovered. And when they got to the town, he saw this mountain. He was completely shocked because this very strong, maybe not a dream really, but something stronger than a dream. He had seen the same mountain. He recognized it immediately. And then his parents brought him into the ashram. And when he saw Ramana Maharshi, he just lost his bananas completely because the man sitting there was the guy again in the dream who was walking around on the mountain. So somehow this young guy who wasn't really interested in spiritual things, he wasn't really interested in coming there, because of the dream, it was as if Ramana had come to him before and kind of invited him, come and meet me. And when he met him, he completely lost his bananas, and then he stayed 6 months, and he would be the first one to come to the ashram in the morning and one of the last to leave in the evening. And then when he got home, he didn't sleep. He was writing his diary every night. He says he hardly slept. So I don't know. I mean, when I read all this stuff, it's just really deeply touching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody else like to talk? Is there anybody I haven't met? Klaus, would you like to have a talk? The man with no front teeth?
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, so nice to see you
You
again.
recovered, you got through Christmas all right. You're still alive?
Yeah, still alive.
Right. And how have things been the last, I mean, this Christmas period might not be so easy for you.
Yeah, I spent Christmas alone.
Yeah. 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 Okay. And how are you doing tonight?
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, a little bit, as I said, so this, the development of the recent years looks like it goes on. So, yeah, right now I'm not really happy with the situation. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strong moment for you. You know, your kind of whole life is sort of changing in ways that you don't particularly want to accept, I think. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, I mean, you would like it to be a bit different.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Well, I think you better come to India with us, you know, because we got a cancellation actually yesterday. So there's still one place left in the retreat, you know. So come. It would completely, you know, it would be a complete, I don't know what it would be for you, but it would certainly be amazingly strong, I think.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, yeah, I guess that is.
You don't need to have any, you don't need to have teeth in India, so you wouldn't have any problems there.
I guess that is a little bit too short now.
Well, you'd have 10 days. We can get you a visa easily, and if you've got a passport, it should be okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, if this idea touches you, then contact to Indira tomorrow and tell her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We have a very nice retreat. I think right now we have 29 people, and I think maybe one person is cancelling, has cancelled or almost cancelled. Anyway, have you tried self-inquiry?
Well, actually, right now, well, I'm using a little bit more mantra right now. So.
You're meditating. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, as I say, this book that we've been working on, we're doing an Indian version, which is going to be ready next week, and then we're going to print a Western quality book, which will be ready at the beginning of March. That's the second of the two books. Did I send you one book? Did I send you a Ramana book?
Aham Spurana.
Yeah. Did you have a look?
Yeah, I started reading.
Yeah? Did
Yeah,
it touch you?
yeah, yeah. So the first pages says um so I'm getting I'm just at the beginning, so I must
Okay.
so I didn't
Okay.
little bit a slow reader right now.
Okay. But if you dip into any of the teachings and just read one page, I think you'll find that you'll get quite touched from that.
Mhm.
He's very clear, and I don't know. He has an enormous gift to explain everything very simple in a very simple way. I would say.
Mhm.
You'll be touched from that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good. Okay. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you also.
And if you wake up tomorrow without, with an idea, I'd like to come, then give Indira a call.
Mhm.
There's still time, 10 more days, we can get you all the necessary documents, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I should have offered this to Joanna, I think, when I talked to her. How about coming to India, Joanna, as you've just arrived in Australia? You can bring your daughter. How old's your daughter?
My son, 10 years old.
Son, 10 years
Yeah.
old. My girls
Yeah.
will love him.
Yeah.
I've got two 8-year-old girls who are very lively, and I think they'll enjoy a lot having somebody almost their own age, but just a little bit older. But you're probably
Yeah.
not ready to travel if you've just arrived from America. You've
No,
probably done
actually,
enough traveling.
I'm very interested about that. But the thing is, I searched before because I'm still holding my passport, my China passport. So I don't think I can get a visa, right? Can I?
Visa for India? I
Yeah.
can't really answer you. I don't know, but I don't see why
Yeah.
not. I don't see why not. We can, if you're really interested, we can find out here in Germany with the Indian embassy if it's possible for Chinese.
I do.
I
I
don't
really
really see
do.
why not. I don't see why not.
If I qualify the visa, I will bring my son together.
Really, that would be very exciting. Yeah, my girls will be very happy. I'll show you their pictures so you can see that they're this is their winter outfit. Can you see that?
A little bit blurry. No,
It's
it's
on black. Okay. Here. This is in the winter, so they're wearing jackets and so on.
yeah.
They're very lively girls. Yeah. Well, that would be amazing. Yeah. So yeah, if you think about it overnight and write to Indira about your feelings, and we will check out tomorrow if there's any problem for Chinese. But
Yeah.
I mean, China and India have some bit clashes.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't think it's so bad that you can't get a visa as a tourist. I mean, I don't know, but for example, India has a very good connection with Russia, so Russians very easily can get a visa for India. I don't know with Chinese. I guess it's also okay. I have no idea, but you can just
So
call the embassy in Sydney, and then they'll tell you.
I checked online by myself and it said for Chinese passport, it's very hard to get a tourist visa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know.
Oh, pity. Because here in Germany, you can just go on the internet. You don't have to go to the embassy. You just go on the internet, and you can do it by you get what they call e-visa. You just fill it out on the website.
Right. Yeah. But for Chinese passport, it's not
possible.
available.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
Oh, well, that's a pity. It's a pity.
So that
Okay,
makes me
well,
to get my US passport first, and then we'll go to India.
have to go back to it. Well, you just came from America, you said, yeah? So you go
Yeah,
back to
so
America, get a passport there, and then you can,
but it takes time though. It's still
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you
We
don't have an
just
American passport because it's,
Not yet. That's why I applied from Australia to apply the US
oh, you came
citizen.
to Australia to apply to go to America.
Yeah, I already applied to get the citizen, the passport of US, but I'm still waiting. It's about like still have 4 months or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
we just actually checked it out on the internet, and it seems like you can get an electronic visa within 3 to 5 days as a Chinese citizen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's what we found
can I get a
in our quick
website?
search.
So Joanna, send us your email address if we don't have
Okay.
it,
I
and
have
we
it,
will.
yeah.
Oh, you have it already. Okay, so
Mhm.
he was talking. He will check it out tomorrow, and maybe we can help
Okay.
you with an e-visa.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Can't believe it. Okay. I think I'll have to finish the meeting now. I can't really continue anymore. Okay, well, I mean, it would be wonderful to see you, and your son is very welcome, and that would be great, because yesterday we lost one. I think we've lost one person, so we would have space for you and your son.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, that was unexpected. So let's see what happens. And so now, yeah, I'm actually, if anybody else wants to go to India, I'm going to be there for nearly 2 months, actually. I'm going to be 3 weeks in the retreat in Tiruvannamalai near Arunachala for 3 weeks. And then I'm going to give every morning a meeting for 2 weeks. So from the 10th of February for 2 weeks every morning at Arunachala. And then I'm going to travel to Rishikesh and another 2 weeks in Rishikesh. When does that start? 3rd of March for 2 weeks until about the 17th or something of March. And so in both those 2 weeks, there'll be public meetings. You don't have to come every day. You don't have to come. You come when you like. You just come and stay in a hotel and just come to the meetings. And if any of you would be interested in that, then you can contact us, and we can help you to arrange your travel or whatever it is. And Rishikesh, if you don't know, is also a wonderful spiritual city. It has the Ganga River running through the city, and there's one part of the town is an ordinary kind of Indian town, and another part of the city is all ashrams on both sides of the river. Many ashrams which have quite famous teachers from the past who are not there anymore, but the ashrams still function. So it's a very nice kind of spiritual place to visit. And in March, the weather's very lovely there. It's the beginning of the mountains. From Rishikesh, you can go up into the Himalayas very easily. So if you wanted to combine some spiritual meetings and then traveling in the Himalayas, we can tell you where to go. You can get a bus high up into the mountains. Yeah. Good. Okay. So see you in March. And a lot of you I'll see next week in India. Very nice. Good.